Just a few miles off the Egyptian coast and 30 metres beneath the surface of the Red Sea lie two heavily rusted, barely recognisable British steam locomotives. How did these massive engines end up at the bottom of the sea, nearly 2,500 miles from where they were built? Let's find out. The SS Thistlegorm was a defensively equipped merchant ship, or DEMS. She was built by J.L. Thompson & Sons in Sunderland and launched in 1940. A sizable ship at 126.5 metres long and 17.7 metres wide, she was capable of carrying a significant amount of cargo. The Ministry of War Transport partially funded Thistlegorm, and she was fitted with a large gun on her stern and also a heavy caliber machine gun for anti-aircraft cover. In the summer of 1941, she was loaded up in Glasgow and set sail with a vast cargo bound for Egypt. The ship was carrying tanks, trucks, ammunition, motorcycles, boots, aircraft parts, and two LMS Stanier 8F steam locomotives destined for the Egyptian State Railway. The locomotives were strapped to either side of the open deck, along with their accompanying coal and water tenders. The LMS Class 8Fs were designed for hauling heavy freight, and first went into production in 1935. On the outbreak of World War II, the design was chosen to become the country's standard freight design. 852 8Fs were built in total between 1935 and 1946, and the class saw extensive service overseas during and after the Second World War. Over 40 were sent to Egypt, including the two aboard the SS Thistlegorm, but they never arrived. The SS Thistlegorm, fully loaded with war supplies, departed Glasgow on the 2nd of June 1941. She was captained by Captain William Ellis, and in addition to the normal crew, they were supplemented by 9 naval personnel to man the machine gun and the anti-aircraft gun. Heavy enemy activity in the Mediterranean meant they needed to take a long detour, sailing as part of a convoy via Cape Town before heading up the east coast of Africa and arriving in the Red Sea by September 1941. Due to a collision in the Suez Canal, the convoy couldn't pass through to reach the port of Alexandria. Instead, they were instructed to moor at Safe Anchorage F. She was joined by HMS Carlisle, a light Royal Navy cruiser moored in the same anchorage. On the 6th of October 1941, 2 Luftwaffe Hinkel HE-111 aircraft were searching the area for Allied ships. They'd been dispatched from Crete and were looking for a troop carrier. Instead of the troop carrier, around 1:30 in the morning, they located the SS Thistlegorm and dropped 2 high-explosive bombs. Both of those struck towards the stern with devastating force. The bombs also detonated some of the stored ammunition, and the combined explosions ripped through the ship. The SS Thistlegorm sank with the loss of 9 crew, with the survivors being picked up by HMS Carlisle. The force of the explosions caused the deck-mounted locomotives to be thrown off the ship to either side. The wreck lay hidden for years until Jacques Cousteau located it in the 1950s. But it wasn't until the 1990s that it became a popular dive site, now one of the most famous in the world. Entering the wreck, divers can find fully stocked cargo holds full of vehicles and equipment. On deck you can still see the stern gun and even unexploded ammunition. The currents off the wreck can be quite strong, but if you're able to venture out to the side, that's where you'll find the remains of the steam locomotives. You can still make out the boilers, wheels and frames. Coal and water tenders are still actually on the deck, presumably they were further away from the site of the explosion and well secured, and they're now artificial reefs home to thousands of fish. So that's how 2 British Stanier 8F steam locomotives ended up at the bottom of the Red Sea. I've been lucky enough to dive the Thistlegorm a number of times, and I rate it as one of the best dive sites in the world. However, even in the few years between my visits, the deterioration of the wreck was noticeable. Time and saltwater are not kind, and at one point dive boats were causing damage by mooring off the wreck itself. The tenders still on deck and all the cargo in the hold were surprisingly well preserved, but the locomotives, having been damaged by the initial explosions and then sat on their own in the currents for decades, weren't looking in great shape when I last saw them. However, it's been nearly a decade since my last visit, and I'm not sure what the state of the wreck is now. I can't imagine it'll be too long before much of the structure has rusted away and it's considered too dangerous to enter the cargo holds. It would be a massive blow to the Egyptian tourism industry were the wreck to become closed off, as it attracts thousands of divers each year. Equally, it's easy to forget that 9 people died during the sinking, and whilst not officially designated a war grave, maybe it's time to treat it like one and close the wreck off. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Special thanks to all the YouTube members and patrons for your support, it's very much appreciated and your names are up on screen now. That's about it for this video, thanks for watching and I'll hopefully see you again soon.